Well, if there was ever a week I wanted to pull an Anthony Richardson, this would be it. I think this was probably the worst week that I have ever had sports-related. Bet on the Yankees to win the World Series.
Loser.
Bet on any player to have 13-plus RBI in the World Series.
Loser.
Bet on the Texans on Thursday night.
Loser.
Bet on Penn State.
Loser.
Bet on the Patriots.
Loser.
I lost in fantasy football because Will Reichard missed 2 field goals.
Loser.
And I voted for Kamala.
Loser.
Hey, I've heard this call before.
I'll bet you have.
I guess we'll go over it this week on episode 126 of Hoagies and Pierogis.
Live from Central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The ski stash! The ski stash!
Welcome to the Big Ten.
Beezer's going drink, man. Let's go!
I was watching election coverage and I was like, why is Booger on an election show? But I had forgotten I changed it to ESPN because the college football playoff poll show is tonight at 7 o'clock. It's an hour long, so you know that they're not going to reveal anything until 8 o'clock. So may as well get this done before then. All right, we have this World Series to go over. Like I said about 2 weeks ago, I bet on the Yankees to win the World Series, and my prediction was in 5 games. Well, the Dodgers won in 5 games. Congratulations to the Dodgers, I guess. Game 5 was probably one of the worst collapses in any playoff game that I have ever seen. Don't watch a lot of playoff baseball, to be honest with you, just because the Pirates are never in it. But that was pretty fucking bad. Let's just go over it from the start. 1-2-3 first inning for Cole. Really good start for the Yankees. And you know what? An even better start on offense. Judge hit a 2-run homer off Flaherty to go up 2-0. And then Jazz goes back-to-back to make it 3-0 after switching spots with Stanton in the lineup. This is what we needed for the 13 RBI bet. More runs for the Yankees means a lower chance of them intentionally walking Freeman. Let's go over this top of the 5th inning, shall we? All right, so it starts with a Hernandez single to right. One person on base. And then Tommy Edman was safe at first on a fielding error by Judge. He just completely whiffed on the ball. I don't know what he was focused on. Then Will Smith grounded into a fielder's choice, but Volpe just completely threw away the ball, allowing Edman to be safe at second and Hernandez to be safe at third. Then Luck struck out swinging. Ohtani struck out swinging. So now you had 2 outs. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Mookie comes up to the plate, and he reaches on an infield single. Now you might be wondering, he might have legged out a single. Mookie's not that fast, but things could happen. Nope. Anthony Rizzo just decided to not cover first base. And Garrett Cole just decided to not cover first base. They both looked at each other while Mookie just sauntered into first. Rizzo, I think, was close enough that he could have just run to the bag, but there was no effort given by either Cole or Rizzo. 5-1 now. And then Freeman had 2 RBIs on a single up the center. So he was sitting at 12 RBIs at this point. Oh my God. I was so excited. Holy shit. So after that, it was 5-3. After that, the double by Hernandez tied the game up. Mookie scored and then Freeman scored. 5 runs, none of them earned for Garrett Cole. I don't exactly know how that happened because I think the double scoring Freeman should have been an earned run on him. That makes sense, right? Unless they're counting it as the inning should have been over. So the Yankees got a run back in the bottom of the 6th. Stanton hit a sacrifice fly to center field, allowing Soto to score. So they're up 6-5. And at some point, there was a catcher's interference with the bases loaded, and Mookie hit a sac fly. You know what? I completely forget what happened in this game. I really didn't care because I only stayed up until the 8th inning when Freeman struck out with a runner on third and 12 RBI, so I knew immediately my bet was dead at that point. Oh, I'm so fucking out of rhythm on this one. Jesus Christ. This has felt like the longest week ever. This is what trauma will do to you. Walker Buehler closed it out. Dodgers won in 5 games. 1 year of Ohtani, 1 World Series. What did I say back when they signed him?
I do think that this is a great move for them, and I almost said World Series or bust.
because $70 million is a lot of fucking money. But I mean, I know that they're hoping for at least 2 or 3, probably 3, maybe 4 World Series at the very least out of this, because they can build so much around this roster now. He's going to be a DH strictly next year, given his elbow surgery. Ohtani's had enough wasted years with the Dodgers, with the Angels. I really hope that he wins at least one championship with the Dodgers. I mean, it's going to be Yankees-Dodgers World Series. But how long have we been saying that? And it's never happened. So, like, not never, but in recent memory, $700 million over 20 years is still a lot. But I do think the last thing I wanted to say is I do think that this helps Juan Soto. But yeah, I think Soto would probably get in the ballpark. Now, after that, I think there are going to be knee-jerk reactions. I still think Soto is going to be like 550 to like 575 million over like 14 to 16 years, probably still with deferrals. That's just my opinion. I mean, Juan Soto is a better hitter than Ohtani is. He might not hit as many home runs, but that's completely besides the point. You now have the best on-base player and the best power hitter in baseball currently in your lineup for the Yankees. So they better be doing something next year. God damn it, they got rid of a lot of pitching, and that's going to hurt them. It will hurt them. All for Juan Soto, but I think that with Garrett Cole there, with Nasty Nestor, I think they'll be all right. Big story coming out going into the offseason is where will Soto sign? The Mets are the favorites to sign him right now, along with the Yankees and Dodgers. And apparently the Blue Jays, I guess they're going to actually be in on this one instead of like the Shohei Ohtani debacle. I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco made an offer either. I mean, they missed out on Judge. I think they would want to get Soto. Could you imagine if the Dodgers signed him with the money they're saving with Ohtani right now? Oh, Jesus Christ. This has just been bad. I mean, this is bad already. But this weekend was just fucking horrible, and I can't get it out of my head. I'm just so cooked. Like, my brain was just memory erased. Like, someone held up a Men in Black memory eraser in front of me after Sunday's loss to the Titans that the Patriots had, and I just feel fucking cooked. I guess we have to go over all this bullshit. The Ohio State-Penn State game, just fucking stupid. They were up 10-0. 10-0. And scored 3 points the rest of the fucking game. This, it was never the time for dumbass end-around bullshit. They were down 17-10 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Then it was 17-13. They could only muster a fucking field goal after that. With 20 minutes left to play. It just fucking sucked. It's the same thing every goddamn year with James Franklin. Vanderbilt has as many wins against top 5 teams since 2000 as Penn State does. And that's one. I don't know what you do. Obviously, James Franklin has recruiter, all of his points put into recruiter, but he cannot coach for his goddamn life. Enough with his Blizzard offense. The offensive coordinator is going to be making blizzards after the season. So Brady Quinn said, not to take a shot at Penn State, but why don't you try winning one at noon first before you worry about when the time of game is? I mean, win more. Maybe that would be more of the issue. It's a team you can't beat. Do you have to play them at night in order to beat Ohio State? And while he has a point, I think a lot of people are just being like, hey, having a whiteout is really cool at night. And then Brady Quinn was just like, fuck you and your fun. Penn State did have a legitimate argument as to why they weren't playing at 7 o'clock. The only other ranked-on-ranked matchup, like I said last week, was SMU and Pitt. And Pitt got blown out. Everyone turned that game off after the first half. There was really nothing to do but sulk the rest of the day. It was just awful. Let's go over these other scores. There were some good games and some good upsets. Let's get into that. Boise State crushed San Diego State. Ashton Genty had 149 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He's going to win the Heisman easily at this point. Ohio State beat Penn State 20-13. Like I said, Same old bullshit. You got to get rid of James Franklin sooner rather than later. It's just a pain in the ass. And RJ texted me. He was he was texting the group chat. He was like, "Man, 29-26 got all my hopes up." And he typoed, instead of 2016, he said 29-26. And I was like, maybe they will beat Ohio State in 29-26, but probably not. 900 years from now, they'll still be losing to Ohio State. Oregon took care of Michigan 38-17, completely making Michigan look silly. Scored 21 points on them in the second quarter. Georgia struggled against Florida. It was very close the whole game. Georgia pulled away late, 34-20. But Carson Beck threw another 3 interceptions. Everyone at the beginning of the season was like, oh, Carson Beck, he's going to be a first-round pick no matter what. Got to be lucky if he goes in the third, buddy. Duke, Miami. Duke was putting up a fight against Miami, and we're actually up at halftime, 21-17. But then Miami pulled away, scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. They went 53-31. Tennessee pulled away from Kentucky, 28-18. South Carolina upset Texas A&M 44-20. Texas A&M made it close in the second quarter, but it was tied 20-20 at halftime, but Texas A&M didn't score the rest of the game. Iowa State lost to Texas Tech 23-22. Iowa State looked horrible. Or it was raining, at least at the end of the game. It was ugly. Louisville finally pulls off the upset. I know I was saying last week, I think I'm always betting on Louisville. I always think they can do it. And what do you know? This week I don't bet on Louisville, and they do it. Another one to chalk up in the loss column for me. Oh, wow. A loss that I didn't even realize that I had. This week has been awful. Oh, awful. Indiana, Rourke is back, throwing bombs, running it in. 4 total touchdowns. Indiana took care of business, 47-10 against Michigan State, and Indiana's looking fucking great. I am a big fan of Indiana right now. Houston upset Kansas State. SMU blew out Pittsburgh, like I said, 48-25. It was 31-3 at halftime. Ole Miss crushed Arkansas after they lost against Kentucky. Haven't bet on them since, but probably should have. I was scared against Arkansas. Army took care of Air Force. Minnesota beat Illinois 25-17. I had some pretty false hope in Illinois after they beat Michigan. Should never have trusted them. So yeah, number 3, number 10. Both number 11s in Iowa State and Clemson. Number 17, number 18, and number 24 all go down this week. That's crazy. We're not going to go over the AP poll. I didn't even look at it this week. Okay, so we are doing a live reaction to the college football playoff poll. The first one this year. Army 25, Missouri 24, Clemson 23, Louisville 22, Washington State 21, Colorado 20. Then we got Kansas State 19, Pitt number 18. They stay at number 18. That's kind of crazy. Number 17, Iowa State. Number 16, Ole Miss. Number 15, LSU after the loss. So the second team out, I don't understand this, is Texas A&M at number 14. First team out, SMU at number 13. Say they're number 13 and 14, not first out, second out. That's just dumb. I do really like how they set up this bracket, though. All right, number 12, Boise State. Okay, this is what the college football playoff expansion was meant for. Let's go. All right, Alabama, number 11. Man, they love Bama. All right, number 10 is Notre Dame. Notre Dame is number 10. Really excited to see these expected matchups. Number 9 overall is BYU, but since they would likely be Big 12 champs, they're seeded number 4. All right, number 9, we got Indiana. Okay. Now we'll start getting some matchups here. God, Indiana looks so good, like I said. Or 9th seed. The 9th seed is Indiana, I should say. They're number 8 overall. BYU had to go and fuck it up. So, yes, Indiana is ranked number 8. BYU is number 9. But BYU is seeded 4th because they will likely be Big 12 champions. Okay, number 7 is Tennessee, Right now, they're matched up against Indiana. Ooh, that would be a good game. Ooh, I'm liking this already. I don't have the sound on, so they're just sitting on this bracket, and it just looks like the screen is paused or something's broken because, I can't hear anything that's going on. I have no idea what they're talking about. But just come on and reveal it. Jesus. All right, number 6 overall, Penn State. And right now, they're matched up against Notre Dame. That's probably the most favorable matchup out of all of these, I would say. Okay, number 5, Texas. They'd be playing Alabama. Oh, there's that Bama-Texas matchup. Let's go. I do still believe in Texas, even though they, got the shit beat out of them by Georgia. All right, top 4. Number 4, but seeded 3rd is Miami. Right now, they're projected as ACC champions. Makes total sense. Oh, this is going to suck for Ohio State. Oh, my God. Ohio State's going to be playing Boise State. Holy shit. All right, but I don't know who's going to be 2 or 3 here. In the AP poll, Georgia's still number 2, but I think Ohio State should have moved up to 2. Georgia is number 3 in this one. Okay, Georgia is number 3. They are seeded number 2, however. Okay, projected as champions of the SEC. And then there it is. Yeah, number 2, Ohio State facing off against Boise State, number 12. And then that puts Oregon number 1 as the number 1 seed. All right, I like that. I like this a lot. Let's go over this real quick again. I'm just going in order. Number 1, Oregon. 2, Ohio State. 3, Georgia. 4, Miami. 5, Texas. 6, Penn State. 7, Tennessee. 8, Indiana. 9, BYU. 10, Notre Dame. 11, Alabama. 12, Boise State. And then right now, BYU, Oregon, Miami, and Georgia have the first round byes, while Boise State will be playing at Ohio State, Indiana at Tennessee, Alabama at Texas, and Notre Dame at Penn State right now for the initial college football bracket. So then winner of Boise State, Ohio State would face BYU. Winner of Indiana, Tennessee would play Oregon. Oof, that's rough. Winner of Alabama, Texas would play Miami. I think whoever wins that game would beat Miami, but this is obviously subject to change. And then we got Notre Dame, the winner of Notre Dame, Penn State, playing Georgia. I think both of them would be fucked. All right, now when we go over these matchups for next week, the teams don't have numbers next to them because I'm doing this after I recorded the game. So let's get back into it. Okay, going over week 11. Penn State plays Washington, and it really doesn't matter anymore. Penn State is number 6 in the AP poll. I mean, they'll probably make the playoff, but right now, it's an uphill battle for them. Florida, Texas might be good. Georgia, Ole Miss. South Carolina, Vanderbilt might be a really good game. What else here? Alabama, LSU. Florida State beating Notre Dame would be hilarious. Boise State's going to beat Nevada. BYU is going to remain undefeated against Utah.
Excuse my language, but it's fuck BYU, man.
And yeah, that's about it for next week. I can't see any of the other rankings, like I said. On ESPN scoreboard, they took away the AP ranking next to them, so I can't even see that. It'll be a pretty decent week. I keep saying that, and it keeps being a crazy week. Yeah, this past weekend, it ramped up again. The craziness in college football was awesome. Okay, let's go over the Texans-Jets game. Well, the Texans were underdogs for a reason. I really didn't think not having Diggs would affect them that much, but I guess their secondary was depleted too. I don't know. Devontae Adams scored his first touchdown with the Jets. And let me tell you what, Garrett Wilson, I think, had probably one of the best catches I have ever seen. You know what? I'm going to put it past OBJ because Garrett Wilson tapped his foot down twice to score the jump man touchdown. What an insane catch. You really can't be mad at that. And hey, players need to stop dropping the ball before they get in the end zone. What is up with that? Stop dropping the ball at the goal line. Hold it like you're about to get hit by 5 people. Malachi Corley dropped the ball before crossing the goal line. No touchdown. Luckily for him, the Texans didn't do anything off of it. So Texans lost to the Jets, and I had a good chunk of money on that. Embarrassingly. let's go over the Patriots. Dude, just stocking up L's this week. It hurts. It hurts my soul. It really hurts. This sucks to go over. It really does. Like I said, this weekend is scarring almost. I'm not betting on Penn State anymore. I'm not going to bet on the Patriots anymore. And I'm not going to bet on the Texans anymore. You know what? I might just take a couple weeks off of betting. How about that? First off, the Patriots just need to quit while they're behind and cut the dead weight. Get rid of Jalen Polk. He got a penalty to bring back a great gain for the Patriots, I think, when they were about to score. So, just chalk this one up as a loss and get rid of him. I'm serious. You need to get rid of Jalen Polk. I said this week I was about this close to hating him. I fucking hate him. I hate you, Jalen Polk. And Ben Brown, too. Ben Brown had some bad holding calls that brought back some awesome runs by Drake May. And speaking of May running, hey, 95 yards? Yeah, that's great. But slide, please, for the love of God. You are just coming off a concussion. Do not go into a crowd of 5 people and not slide. Please. That last play to tie up the game, the touchdown pass to Stevenson, almost 12 seconds, 11.8 seconds of scrambling around back there for May. Holy shit. And to just Hail Mary it up there for Stevenson, and I cannot believe he actually caught it. What? Just to get our hopes up like that and to completely crush us by allowing the Titans to kick into the wind instead of against it, going into overtime. Mayo needs to pay attention to these little details. And I know that it is like a Belichickian thing to know the direction of the wind, like be a savant like that. But it's kind of just common sense, I think. As the head coach, you kind of need to know that. Don't give them any advantages. Have them kick into the wind instead of with it. Some people were saying go for 2. Like, no, that was the absolute wrong decision. You have a way higher chance of winning if you get the ball first in overtime, getting the ball first being the key thing, than you do of having to go for 2 from the 3-yard line in that situation. The Patriots couldn't run the ball all day. Stevenson had, I think, 22 yards rushing. AVP, you'll get your rushing yards on pass plays. Just call pass plays the whole game. I don't care. If May runs for 100 yards, good. Fucking good. This is just bad. And that win against the Jets last week kind of gave me hope. I was really looking forward to 2 wins in a row. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? And then today's the trade deadline. Trade deadline went and passed. Not trading for an offensive lineman. Come on. It really just makes me sad. It really makes me sad. Okay, let's go over the rest of the week here. Okay, Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-21. Big takeaway from this game. The Cowboys obviously just keep losing, and that's hilarious. But the Cowboys paid Dak Prescott $60 million to be a walking glass sculpture. He has a significant hamstring injury that will keep him out at least 4 weeks because he was just placed on IR today. What are the Cowboys doing? They are completely lost. It's just great to go over them losing every single week. I don't know. Jerry Jones trading for Jonathan Mingo makes it official. He is totally senile. Mingo weeks 6 through 9 this year, 1 reception for 1 yard. Traded for a 4th-round pick when the Panthers used a 2nd-round pick on him. Great return for the Panthers. You get 2 rounds later than what you got. And Mingo has obviously been a complete bust. I don't think having a good quarterback back there will help him. And Dak's not the best quarterback. I just don't understand how Jerry Jones thinks that makes them any better. Cooper Rush is going to be thrown to him. Why does it matter? How is that any better than, Bryce Young, which that actually makes it better. I'm really glad I picked up Jalen Coker and Adam Thielen now. Bills walk off the Dolphins on a 61-yard field goal. That was fucking awesome. Bengals blow at the Raiders 41-24. The Chargers-Browns game. Jim Harbaugh was really out there trying to embarrass the Browns just to shove it in his brother's face. They were up 20-3 going into halftime, and they did some lateral bullshit to try to score again before the end of the half. Just to try to catch him sleeping or something? I don't know. But that really made me laugh. I mean, there would be no other explanation than just to be like, ha ha, John, you lost last week. I'm blowing him out. You're the inferior coach. I'm better. Fuck you. Everyone who thought that Jameis was going to be some savior for the Browns is crazy when he literally got bailed out last week against the Ravens because Kyle Hamilton can't catch a football. But speaking of John Harbaugh, they get a bounce back win against the Broncos. 41-10. Lamar was 16 for 19, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers had a great game, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Baltimore offense was firing on all cylinders. Commanders keep rolling. They're 7-2, beat the Giants 27-22. Panthers beat the Saints 23-22, and that is the Saints' 7th loss in a row after dominating their first 2 games of the season. And that got Dennis Allen fired this past week. Wow, the Saints are just horrible. Another person that got fired this week was Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. And I don't know where they found Norv Turner, what dinosaur excavation site they had to go to find him, but Norv Turner is going to be the assistant offensive coach. What? Honestly, I thought he was dead. All right, we got the Eagles and the Jags here. The Eagles won 28-23, and it should not have been this close. The Eagles were up 16-0 at halftime. What everyone's talking about from this game is Saquon's backwards hurdle. Oh, I saw this live, and I was like, did he really just do that? He did that completely intentionally. There was no accident about that. He had his back turned to the defender, jumped up, got his legs out of the way, turned his head back to try to go and make another move, but it was tackled there. It was the best 14-yard gain ever. And I should have started the Eagles defense. Fandom completely blinded me, and the Patriots had 2 points. Eagles defense had 12 fantasy points. That 10 points would have won me my game. I lost by 4. Cardinals blow out the Bears 29-9. It was surprising that Trey Benson had a rushing touchdown. And 3 tight ends had a rushing touchdown. It was the first time it had happened since 1940-something. Oh, that stat that I'm thinking of from the 30s is this one. The Commanders have only turned the ball over 3 times. That's the fewest turnovers by any team in their first 9 games since 1933. When turnovers were first tracked, you rarely ever hear that first tracked in football. You always hear it in baseball. But holy shit, since turnovers were first kept track of and recorded, this is the least that a team has had ever in their first 9 games. I'm just going to assume ever because, how much football was played before 1933. All right, Lions beat the Packers 24-14. Rams beat the Seahawks in overtime 26-20. And then this game, the Sunday night game, the one that was flexed to Sunday Night Football for no reason, it was a fucking awful game. Vikings won 21-13. Will Reichard, and I did not know this, was dealing with some injury. Some tightness in his hamstring or something. I don't know. I'm just completely making that up. But he was dealing with an injury this whole week that wasn't reported, and he missed 2 field goals. That also cost me the game, cost me my fantasy game. I would have been 6-3. Now I'm sitting at 5-4, looking basically outside into the playoffs. Oh, that hurt. Because you know what? I'm just beating myself. I really am just beating myself. I should not have started the Patriots defense over the Eagles defense. I shouldn't have picked up a second defense. The only reason I did is because the person I was playing had the Steelers defense, and they were on a bye, so I was kind of just hoarding defenses to give them less options. It completely backfired on me because my dumbass started them. Disappointed in myself. And then our Monday night game, the Chiefs beat the Buccaneers 30-24 in overtime. We got our first dose of Carson Wentz in years. Oh my God. And I actually thought that he was going to finish out the game because Mahomes went down with an an ankle injury that was non-contact. I didn't think anything had like snapped. I didn't think his Achilles tore on a non-contact or anything like that. But he's always tweaking that ankle, but he always comes back in. It's crazy. He is a robot. He is a Terminator ankle. In this game, everyone's all mad about give everyone one possession in overtime, even if the first team to score gets a touchdown. And I kind of agree with that in the NFL. Is it easier to wear down defenses in the NFL than it is? I don't know. When you have a team like the Chiefs or the Ravens or the Lions, you don't want to be going up against any of them in overtime because they get a lot of their yards on first and second down. Those are the three teams that have the highest percentage in the league. I don't know how to fix this other than either give the team a possession if the first team scores a touchdown, or how about people stop bitching and have the defense make a stop. All right, so that's it for week 9 of NFL. I didn't really have anything else here. We do have a super exciting Thursday game. Bengals against the Ravens. Bengals have been putting up a lot of points. They've looked pretty good. Burrow's been looking great this season. Ravens have been kind of hit or miss. I think they should be like 8-1 or 7-2 at the very least. They should not have lost to the Browns. Patriots Bears on Sunday. Giants Panthers suckfest. There are so many 2-7 teams this year. We got the Patriots, the Giants, the Panthers, the Saints, the Jags. The Titans are 2-6. And then the Dolphins are 2-6 as well. Oh, and the Raiders are 2-7, and the Browns are also 2-7. I didn't even know that was possible, to be honest with you. It's going to be a fight for that number 1 pick. More of a fight than last year. I thought last year was bad competing with the Giants, I almost said the Redskins, the Commanders, and the Panthers. But yeah, holy shit. Broncos, Chiefs, I don't know if that'll even be good. 49ers, Buccaneers, Steelers, Commanders. That'll actually be a great game at 1 p.m. Eagles, Cowboys. It'll just be nice to see the Cowboys lose again this week. Lions, Texans on Sunday Night Football. Hopefully that debacle is behind the Texans. And then Dolphins, Rams to round out the week on Monday. Everybody, we got through it. Holy shit. I can't believe it. A little bit shorter this week than the past few weeks, but I am just in agony talking about this. It sucks so bad. All right. Anything else to go over here? Oh, Ohtani had surgery to repair his shoulder after partially dislocating it during the World Series. Well, Dave Roberts, it doesn't seem like it's nothing. Holy shit, I didn't realize he would need surgery for it. It does look like it's his left arm, and it says he should be expected to recover by spring training. So it'll be totally good there. Torn labrum. Holy shit. Oh, shit. This seems like it's cool. Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger. Looks like McCutcheon's on Roethlisberger's podcast. That's pretty cool. I'm going to have to watch that. Okay. Doesn't seem like anything has happened. So I almost included this last week, but I needed a whole other week just to make sure. Black Ops 6 is awesome. It's great. It is incredible. They just had a double XP weekend this weekend, so I am level 38 Prestige 1 with all diamond LMGs already. I've been putting in work, putting in a little bit of work. I got it not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, and I played one match. I went 18-18, and I was like, okay, we're kind of back. Feels good. Played a lot more on Sunday, and I was like, oh yeah, we're feeling it. Had a 40-9 game and then 20-6 game in another one. So we're going strong. I don't get people's complaints about skill-based matchmaking. It's just like, do you normally not pay attention when you're playing the game? Do you just play Call of Duty? I understand that it's a video game. You play it for fun, but you don't play it to win? I don't get it. Do you not want it to be more competitive? I think if it's more competitive, it's way more fun. I really don't care about my win-loss ratio. I really don't even care about my KD, which it's like 1.2 this year because they got rid of assists. It's great. It is great. I'm determined to get that last camo in multiplayer. Oh, man. But all right, everybody. I think that's it for this week. Make sure to leave a like and comment on each video. Hoagies and Pierogis is available on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram for clips throughout the week. And we'll leave you with this. Munch.
Live from Central Pennsylvania with your host Ian DiCarlo, this is Hoagies and Pierogis.
The ski stash. The ski stash.
Welcome to the Big Ten.
Beijers go drink, mate. Let's go.